All right, guys. So this was requested by Underground. This video is by the channel Disturbin' once again. A case almost too gruesome to mention. Andre Thomas. All right, guys, let's check it out.
This case takes place on the 27th of March 2004 in Texas, USA.
All right.
Andre Thomas was a 21-year-old man who lived in Sherman, Texas. Growing up, Andre had a rather tough childhood. He had 5 brothers, and his mother was pretty much raising them single-handedly. However, she struggled with depression and had deep childhood trauma, and would often turn to alcohol to cope.
All right, Underground.
Both sides of Andre's family suffered with alcoholism and serious mental health issues.
What's up,
His
Layla?
father would regularly be arrested by police and would often drink heavily.
I'm
Many
good.
members on his father's side had a long history of alcohol problems. And Andre's grandmother on his mother's side claimed she would receive visions from God in her dreams. And
What?
his mother would also claim that she too heard voices coming from the divine. Despite his mother receiving monetary help from the local churches, the house in which Andre lived frequently had no running water or electricity. Nevertheless, Andre was described as a happy young lad, and was extremely intelligent. From a young age, he showed signs that he was gifted, and was put forward for the Gifted and Talented school program. When Andre was young, his father bought an old beaten-up car. Andre became intrigued and would take the car apart piece by piece, and then put it all back together again in working order. He would often sit and
maybe,
draw
Daniel, if you
futuristic
want.
cars, and claimed one day when he got older, he would build them himself. Andre also attended Sunday school and took the lessons very seriously, and could memorize large parts of the Bible. His Sunday school teacher would later say that he would often shoot his hand in the air before she could even finish her question, and described him as a sweet young boy. Despite the troubles at home, things were looking like Andre may be able to have a promising future for himself. Although, things would soon change when he reached the age of 10. Andre began telling his school friends that he could hear voices inside his head speaking to him, just like his mother and
Well, that's a red flag. If when Andre turned 10, he told his friends he hears voices talking to him in his head. My oldest son, Andrew, is 9, so not quite 10. If my son, Andrew, came to me and was like, Dad, I hear voices talking to me in my head, I'd be like, all right, time to go to the hospital and figure out what's going on. That's a little bit of a red flag.
grandmother. Andre also suffered from depression from a young age. He would take a knife to his wrists in an attempt to take his own life when he was just 10 years old.
10?
And again when he was 13.
Yo.
Following these attempts, Andre's mother would respond by saying, I
Really,
wish
Bam?
I would have
Jeez.
just aborted you instead. A
Oh my
phrase
God.
that was all too familiar to him. He also began to show signs of antisocial behavior in his teenage years. He stole a car and crashed it, and on a number of occasions he caused criminal damage to other vehicles.
Oh my God.
When Andre was around 16, he got his girlfriend.
Imagine your mother telling you, I wish I would have aborted you. That's freaking dark. I don't care how Andre was acting. Imagine your mom telling you that at 10, 13 years old. My God.
Laura Boren pregnant. Laura was around 8 months younger than Andre, and the two had been together for a couple of years. Laura decided to keep the baby. Andre was very close with the Boren family, and considered them his family too. They knew a little bit about his criminal past, but they had no idea that he had been hearing voices inside his head for a number of years.
Oh, I hope he doesn't do anything to his girlfriend or the baby. He got his girlfriend pregnant. The girlfriend decided she wants to keep the baby, go through with the pregnancy. I really hope he doesn't hurt his girlfriend.
They allowed Andre to stay with them for some time.
Or
On
the
the 30th
or
of
her
August,
family.
1999, Andre and Laura's child was born and was named Andre Jr. On the 17th of March 2001, Andre and Laura married and moved into their own place. However, shortly after, the two ended their relationship,
Oh,
and
no.
Laura moved back into her parents' house with their child. This breakup caused Andre's mental health to spiral.
Ugh.
He began to drink heavily and would take illegal substances.
Oh gosh, Andre and his girlfriend broke up and now he has a child with the girlfriend. She took the baby and went back and moved in with her parents. I really hope Andre doesn't freaking have a mental breakdown and like go and do something to his child, his ex-girlfriend and her family. I really hope he doesn't go do something dumb. I've got a bad feeling though with these stories, there's always something sinister or bad that happens, it seems like.
Soon enough, he was broke and was in and out of jail for various petty crimes. On one occasion, however, Andre was arrested after he beat up a man whom he believed to have slept with Laura. And on another occasion, he ran into a church and dunked his head into some holy water, as he believed he was possessed by demons.
Jeez.
In 2003, when Andre was 19...
Bam 56 here. Andre thought he was possessed by demons. It's always the demons. The freaking evil demons that possess and cause people to do these terrible crimes. I don't even know where the story's going with Andre, but I have a feeling we still have 12 minutes left in this video that Andre is going to do something that's not good. I've got a bad feeling.
19, he moved in with his brother, Brian. However, the two would constantly argue over the smallest of things. Brian also suffered from serious mental health issues and had just been released from a facility. Not long after moving in, Brian claimed that Andre's music was summoning evil spirits, so Brian walked into Andre's room and began to violently beat him. In retaliation, Andre ran to the kitchen and grabbed an 8-inch knife and plunged the knife into his brother's back. Brian survived the attack, and Andre was arrested and spent 3 months in jail. Despite his obvious mental health problems, the authorities failed to provide any help for Andre or incarcerate him and treat him until his condition got better.
Wow.
They instead released him totally unmedicated. Despite Andre and Laura's relationship,
he only spent 3 months in a mental place and they didn't give him any medication and just set him back out into the world. Fend for yourself, Andre. Gosh.
Ending some time ago, he was still incredibly fixated on her. Following his disturbing behavior, Laura decided it would be best if Andre's visits with his child were kept to a minimum. Later on in 2003, Laura met a man named Brian Hughes, and the two became close. Before too long, they began a relationship, were living together, and had a child named Leia. Andre was able to get himself a job and start earning some money, although in January of 2004, he was fired. Following this, Andre told his friends that he had thoughts of taking
I'm ready
his
for
own
Christmas.
life, and that he couldn't stand the sound of his own voice anymore, so he began to tape his mouth shut. Andre's friends decided it was time to act on his behalf. One of them took him to a mental health facility. Once there, he told staff that life was just too much, and that he wished to take his own life. The staff issued Andre with an emergency order and told him to go to a nearby hospital immediately. This emergency order meant that if Andre did not check into the hospital, the police would be notified and he would be arrested. Andre was allowed to leave the mental health facility with a promise that he would go straight to the hospital. Andre left and went right home. The police did nothing.
What is going on? He was told to go to the mental health facility and Andre just took his ass home and the police did nothing. This is the freaking police officer's fault. They need to follow through. He just went home and the police did nothing.
Andre's mental health continued to worsen and he refused to let go of Laura. He would often turn up at Laura and Bryant's home when Bryant wasn't there and would try and convince her to get back together. Despite doing this, Andre did actually have a girlfriend, a woman named Carmen Hayes. He lived with Carmen in a trailer, along with his mother too. On the 25th of March 2004, whilst he was alone in the house, Andre grabbed a knife from his kitchen and plunged the knife into his chest and went to sleep. His mother came back and found him in the morning and brought him to hospital. He was treated for his wound and managed to survive due to the wound not being too severe. The hospital wrote in their notes that Andre...
How do you sleep? How do you stab yourself in the chest and go to sleep and you wake up or, you're fine? My question, how would you even sleep? I feel like you'd be in extreme pain. Wouldn't you be uncomfortable if you freaking stabbed yourself? He just took his ass to bed.
He was psychotic. He was rambling about the $1 note containing the secrets to life and believed that he was living in a simulation and that nothing mattered. The hospital arranged for Andre to be taken away to a mental health facility as they deemed him to be a danger to himself and others.
Freaking crazy.
But before they could properly process him, Andre fled from the hospital. The staff contacted the police, but again, they failed to follow up on the warnings. And now we arrive to the 27th of March 2004. Andre dressed himself in some overalls with plenty of pockets, went into his kitchen and placed into his pockets 3 knives. He then left his apartment and made his way over to where Laura and Bryant lived with her 2 children. As Andre was walking towards the house, he saw Bryant...
I knew this was going to come back to his ex-girlfriend Laura that he had a kid with. Oh, he's going to freaking kill her.
Driving to work. Bryant waved at Andre, and Andre...
Oh yeah, and Laura has a new boyfriend too, right?
Waved back and proceeded to walk towards Laura's home. Once outside the door of the apartment, Andre broke inside, which set off the security alarm. Upon hearing the sound of the door being barged in, Laura came running down the hall to see what was happening.
Oh my God.
She ran towards Andre, but as she did, Andre pulled out one of the knives and stabbed her in the heart. Laura fell to the ground and began to bleed profusely. She quickly passed away from the attack. Once she was dead, Andre knelt down beside her, cut into her chest, and carved out a piece of her lung, which he believed to be her heart. He then placed it inside his pocket, along with a knife he had used. He then got up, pulled out the second knife, and walked towards the children's bedroom.
Oh God, no, don't tell me he's gonna fucking kill the kids. You've gotta be freaking possessed and evil to do that.
He entered the room, pinned down his own son who had awakened from the commotion, and stabbed him in the chest.
Oh my God.
He then carved out his son's heart and placed the heart and the second knife in another pocket. He was careful not to cross-contaminate the blood. He then turned his attention to Laura and Bryant's daughter. Andre pulled the girl from her bed and placed her on the floor. She too suffered the same fate.
Oh man.
He stabbed Leia, removed her heart, and placed the knife and heart in a separate pocket. Again,
there's no question. This guy had to have been severely possessed by something truly evil. Like, okay, I understand his ex-girlfriend. He hated her. She didn't deserve that. But the children? And what was Laura's new boyfriend's name? Brian? He was probably at work or something, wasn't he? I bet you Brian, Laura's new boyfriend, is gonna regret that for the rest of his life, that he wasn't there to protect Laura and the kids. I couldn't imagine having my wife Bree and kids of my own. Me not being home and someone broke into my house and did that to my wife and my kids. Oh man, that would just be so terrible.
Not to cross-contaminate the blood. Laura was 20 years old when she was murdered. Their son Andre was 4 years old, and Leia was just 13 months old. After killing
13 months? She was only a little over a year old, you sick bastard.
the three, Andre folded up a $1 bill in a way to highlight that
Oh yeah, Bam. Is listening to this pissing you off? Extremely. Having kids of my own, the thought of someone doing this to my family, that'd be like someone, killing my wife Bree and my kids. Oh, I would just want to.
the eye stabbed himself twice in the chest and laid down next to Laura's body, expecting to die. However, to his surprise, he didn't succumb to his wounds, so he fled from the scene, taking...
He stabbed himself once before his mom found him. He didn't die. Now he just stabbed himself another 2 times. Something evil is keeping him alive. That is my theory, guys. I know, obviously, like Michael Myers, that's just, not real. But, like the theory of in the Halloween movies, like, you can't kill evil. Like, it was impossible to kill Michael Myers. You stab him, he got shot. Michael Myers would always come back. You couldn't kill him because he was evil. I feel like this is a real life situation of this man was so evil. He literally couldn't die. Something supernatural and evil was keeping him alive. How do you stab yourself 3 times in the chest and you can't die? I mean, come on.
With him, the 2 hearts from the children and a piece of lung from Laura. As he made his way back to his trailer, Andre heard sirens heading in the direction of Laura's flat. He pulled out his phone and attempted to call Laura, but he couldn't find her number. So instead, he called Laura's parents, leaving a voicemail that said, "Something bad is happening to me, and it keeps on happening. I don't know what is going on, but I need some help. I think I'm in hell." Upon returning to his trailer, Andre spoke with his girlfriend Carmen. She was absolutely terrified. Andre was covered in blood and was breathing heavily.
What's up, GTA?
He told Carmen that the police would soon be coming, explaining that he had killed his ex-wife Laura, his son, and her other child. Andre then lifted up his top and revealed the self-inflicted wounds. He went over to the kitchen sink, grabbed a butcher's knife, and showed Carmen how far the stab wound was to his chest by inserting the blade, and stated,
"What?
I should be dead." Carmen told Andre that he needed to turn himself into the police right away, and so he did. Andre went right to the police station and explained what he had done. Officers were already at the crime scene due to the alarms being triggered. They found the 3 victims lying on their backs with cavities in their chest and missing organs. Andre was treated for the self-inflicted stab wounds to his chest, and once he was better, he was asked why he killed Laura, Andre Jr., and Leia. He explained that God had told him to kill the 3 of them. He believed...
I can tell you this right now, bro. It wasn't God. God told him to kill the 3 of them. No, I guarantee it was not God. It was frickin' the devil himself.
That Laura was Jezebel, the wife of the devil, and that his own son, Andre Jr., was the Antichrist, and that Leia was an evil demonic spirit.
Is he immortal? Like I said, I think something evil was keeping him alive. There is a supernatural, spiritual world out there, guys, of good and evil. And the more I watch these videos, it's just plain as day. There is a lot of evil out there. There's a lot of good in the world, but there's a lot of evil. Something was keeping this man, Andre, alive. A severely deep stab wound to the chest, and he just was still alive. That's not normal. That's not normal.
He then asked the investigators if he would be forgiven for what he did. Throughout the interview, Andre continued to insist that Laura, Andre Jr., and Leia were demons, and that he didn't deserve any punishment. He stated that he had freed their hearts from evil. 5 days after the murders, Andre was in his cell reading his Bible when he came across Matthew 9:29. After reading this verse, he dug his fingers into his right eye and gouged his own eyeball out.
Bro!
The verse in question reads, "If thy right eye offends thee, pluck it out." Following this, the courts declared that Andre was not fit to stand trial and sent him to a maximum security psychiatric facility, where he was given strong antipsychotic medication and diagnosed with schizophrenia. After 5 weeks passed, 2 doctors asserted that Andre had exaggerated his symptoms, and they changed his diagnosis to substance-induced psychosis and declared him competent.
What substance was he using?
The trial began in 2005. Andre's defense team tried to argue that he was innocent due to being clinically insane. Nevertheless, a jury found Andre guilty of murder and sentenced him to death. On the 8th of December 2008, Andre removed his other eye, placed it into his mouth, and consumed it.
What
Since
the
then,
fuck,
Andre
bro?
has resided at the Wayne Scott High Security Psychiatric Facility, where he awaits his execution. When speaking of her daughter Laura, Sherry Boren said, "You just can't believe it's real. You're hoping that
Frickin'
it's
sad.
not, that it's some kind of dream or something, and that you're going to wake up at any minute."
Oh my gosh. Yeah, I wasn't sure how old Andre Jr. was. He was only 5 years old. Leia was only 1. Or Leah. Oh my gosh. Killed his own son. He was only 5 years old. And then the other, Laura had a daughter with another man, I think Brian, and she was only 1. That's just so freaking sad.
But you don't. And those who knew Andre have stated that he could have been so brilliant under the right set of circumstances.
True, Nori.
But unfortunately, this wasn't the case, and as a result of his mental health being unchecked
Really,
for so
Vincent?
long,
How?
3 innocent victims lost their lives. Despite the despicable nature of his crimes, there are many that do believe that Andre is a victim in his own right, and that he should have received help far sooner. And because of this, he doesn't deserve the death penalty, but instead, life in prison and treatment. So I guess the question is, does Andre deserve to be put to death? There is no doubt
I'd say get
that
rid
the
of him.
murders he committed
Sorry.
are absolutely horrific, some of the worst that I have ever heard of. However, I shall refrain from giving my own opinion and allow you all to come to your own conclusions. As of right now, Andre Thomas is scheduled to be executed on the 5th of April, 2023.
Oh, shit. April 5th, 2023. So I'm assuming this video came out. This video came out 10 months ago. Can someone look up and see if Andre was executed, or are they still waiting trial? Because we're past April 2023. We're almost into 2024, guys. So, wow. That was incredibly sad.